welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on NXT. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's dive right into the action because the very first match of the night was a number one contender fatal four-way match for the NXT North American Championship. We had Ethan Page versus Lexis King versus Eddie Thorpe versus Wes Lee. Now this was a great match, okay? I loved seeing all four of these guys go at it. And one thing I do have to point out is that Ricky Saints, our NXT North American champion, was sitting ringside on the commentary desk, kind of just, observing who his potential future number one contender matchup, whatever you want to call it, is going to be for Stand and Deliver this weekend. And of course, Ethan Page has to stir the pot, so he decided to shove Eddie Thorpe into Ricky Saints. And of course, they teased the match between Ethan and Ricky, which is something we all want to see, of course. And it ended up happening because Ethan Page won the match, and now he is the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship. That match will be taking place this weekend at Stand and Deliver. Now, Ricky came back out because he had left for a minute, and then he came back out for Ethan's post-match promo situation to attack him from behind and make a statement, and I truly cannot wait for this match. I do have to say something though. Like sometimes I feel like NXT might be pulling the trigger too soon with some things. Like I feel like they definitely pulled the trigger way too soon with Stephanie and Julia's match in New York. What was it, like a month ago? And then with this match, it feels like slightly too soon. You can make the argument that it's like perfect timing, but I don't know. Maybe that's just personal preference. But the next match was also in relation to Stand and Deliver. We had a women's Stand and Deliver qualifier match. This is for that 6-woman ladder match that is going to be for the NXT Women's North American Championship. So this match was Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice. Now, I absolutely loved this match. I mean, both of these women are so underrated. I used to never really like Lola Vice, but when I finally gave her a chance and I put her gimmick aside, I really did loved what I really loved what I saw in the ring. And I'm not crazy about her gimmick, but I do really like her in-ring ability. And same with Tatum Paxley. Although with her, I've always been a big fan of her. I love her in-ring work, and I thought seeing them two come together in this match was so good. I mean, they both brought so much to the table in their own way, and it just made for a great match. But in the end, Lola Vice won and is now advanced to the 6-woman ladder match at Stand and Deliver. And now we have only one spot left, which did get filled later on in the night. But the next match, I mean, NXT was great last night. Now that I'm really looking through all of this, I mean, it was banger after banger. Next, we had a tag team gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So we had Hank and Tank versus Tyson and Tyreek versus the Culling versus the No Quarter Catch Crew and versus Yoshiki Inamura and Josh Briggs. Now this, I just have to say, gauntlet matches are always fun, but like I feel like this was the first gauntlet tag team match that I've seen in a very long time where it was literally just like big guys after big guys. You know what I mean? Because for those who have never seen a gauntlet match before, or if last night was your first time seeing one, basically 2 tag teams or 2 people start off in the ring, and then once somebody gets pinned, they're technically eliminated, and then the next person or the next tag team will come out until you eventually get to the end. And so I just really love this one. I mean, I felt like every tag team did exceptionally well and made this a can't miss match. I mean, this was definitely like low-key PLE worthy. Like low-key, like let me live. Like I loved it. So, because, like I mentioned, teams were getting eliminated and new ones were coming out, there was truly no room for boredom, and I loved it. But in the end, the team that I felt that was going to win, and honestly, this team has grown on me so much because I used to not like them, but they honestly have grown on me because they are maniacs in and out of the ring. Hank and Tank won and are now going to face Fraxium at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Now, I've said this for a while, and I feel like Fraxium is truly one of the most, if not the most dominant NXT tag team in history, especially as champions. So I always wonder every time they defend the titles, when are they going to drop them? Who's worthy enough to have them dropped too, if that makes sense? And also, like, if they drop the titles, does that mean they're getting called up? Like, what is going on here? I definitely do think they can hang with people in the main roster, but I don't know. I wonder if they will drop them or not. And I will talk more about this tomorrow. Oh my gosh, today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'm doing my NXT Stand and Deliver preview, which I will be going over the entire card for NXT Stand and Deliver, which is Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then tomorrow night, I will also be posting my WrestleMania Nights 1 and 2 preview. So you guys will get 2 bonus episodes, podcast episodes tomorrow, available on my Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube channel. So you guys can get ready for those. Follow me on Instagram at It's Victoria Daisy because I will be letting you guys know as soon as those drop. You can probably expect the NXT one earlier in the day and then the WrestleMania one later in the day, just so you guys can kind of get an idea for when those will come out. And I'm just so excited. I can't believe we are finally at WrestleMania weekend, Stand and Deliver weekend. We have been talking about this for so long and it is finally here and I cannot wait. Also, I said yesterday in my podcast episode that I was going to NXT next week. That's a lie. I wasn't lying to you as per se, but I didn't realize that NXT is in Vegas next week. So I won't be going next week. I'll go the week after. So when they come back to Orlando, I'll go. So you can expect that content then. But yeah, I'm just back to this gauntlet match. I'm so happy for Hank and Tank, and I'm just so curious to see if Fraxium drops the titles or not. I think Hank and Tank are one of the best options of tag teams to drop the titles to. I don't think there's another tag team right now that is really ready to carry the weight of being a tag team champion like I feel they can be. Their rise to fame has been so quick, and I think they've handled it so well, and I don't know, I just think they're ready, and so I'm here for it. All right. The next thing that happened was oh so juicy. It was so good. We had a segment outside. You heard that right. Not inside, outside. The D'Angelo family had a confrontation with Dark State. Now, you guys know I love the D'Angelo family, but I also really, really love Dark State. I am Dark State's #1 fan. And I will say that right now, I am Dark State's #1 fan. I am obsessed with them in every way possible. From that one match we saw from them last week, loved every bit of it. And then obviously their presentation, everyone individually, it's just, they have such a freaking bright future. It's not even funny if they book them correctly. Oh my God. I can't even, like, I'm obsessed with Dark State. I just love their vibe. I just love it all. It's pulling inspiration from things we've seen in the past with previous factions, but it's in a new and fresh way that has me excited. We don't have anything like Dark State right now in NXT or even on the main roster, so I am living for this. But of course, the D'Angelo family is one of NXT's staple factions right now, so having this confrontation was very fun. But let's talk about the actual confrontation. So Stax said that he's the underdog, okay, and that this was his call. Mind you, Tony D'Angelo was not there. It was literally just Stax, Luca Crucifino, Adriano Rizzo, and then some of their like backup extra family members, whatever you want to call them. And so Stax tells Riz to get out, like go somewhere safe. So she goes into the car, and then is when I believe that she called Tony and was like, dude, you need to get over here. Stax is losing his mind. They didn't show that, but I'm just assuming that's what happened. So the family got weapons and they went ham on Dark State. It was so good. Then eventually they went inside one of the warehouses at the NXT facilities, and oh my gosh, Dark State, though, they were ready once they got inside that warehouse. They were ready to fight back. It was so good. I mean, people were going through walls. Yes, you heard that right. People were going through walls. Obviously, it wasn't like a brick wall or something like thick. It was something you could like get through. I don't know materials. Okay. I don't know what that would have been made out of, but it was enough for a human to go through it. And it was chaotic madness, and I was living for it. It was so good. Now, here's where it gets even better. Tony D'Angelo comes speeding in his Mercedes Benz right up to the warehouse, and he had a crowbar of his own, and he was wiping out Dark State. I mean, he took them all out by himself. I was like, okay, go off, King, showing that dominance. Then he got mad at Stax for putting the entire family in jeopardy. And, Stax was trying to defend himself, being like, I'm the underboss. You gave me that opportunity, whatever. And Tony D'Angelo was like, buddy, you like low-key blew it, but like, it's okay. And, he said while Stax was doing all this madness, he was handling business like it's supposed to be. And he said that business was the fact that at Stand and Deliver, I can't even, I'm so excited. At Stand and Deliver, we're going to have the D'Angelo family versus Dark State in a 6-man tag team match. Oh my God, guys. This might be my favorite match of the weekend. This is my most anticipated one for sure. I am so freaking excited for this match. You have no idea. I am so excited. And Dark State needs to release merch because I need to rep them already. Like, I'm waiting. Hello. Anyways, let's move on to the sixth and final women's Stand and Deliver qualifier match for that 6-woman ladder match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. We had Carmen Petrovic versus the returning Thea Hail. Now, I just have to say, it's so good to have Thea Hail back, especially since, now she's not in her Chase U era anymore. She's got new music, she's got a new look, and I'm living for it. I believe we haven't seen Thea since August 2024. So it's been a fat minute since we've had her around. And I'm so happy that she's no longer with Chase U. She is finally stepping in to the wrestler that she is and the phenomenal wrestler that she will become. She needed to have that Chase U moment to, build her up and build her profile, but now she needs to get away from it to be able to truly build her career. And I think that's what she's doing now, and I'm so happy for her. Now, this was a pretty cool match. I thought it was really good. Lots of athleticism from both women, which I really liked, and there was a lot of cool spots that I loved as well. And you can definitely tell that Thea Hail has been working hard during her time away from NXT because she looked sharp in the ring. That was one thing I kept saying to myself. I was like, oh my gosh, she's looking so good in the ring, but way better than she did before she even left. So I was so excited. Now, all that hard work paid off because Thea Hail won the match and is now advanced to the 6-woman ladder match at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Women's North American Championship. And I could not be more happy for her. She really does deserve this. And you guys know I love Carmen Petrovic, but I think Thea Hail deserved it a little more, and I can't wait. It seems like maybe she's getting a big push right now. I mean, she had a huge pop when she came out, so very excited for her. But let's head into the final segment of the night. We had the final face-off between Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Javon Evans. So Trick Williams came out first, and he said that he's been doing some thinking. And I guess Javon's comments last week messed him up, when he called him Carmelo Hayes. And he said that on Saturday, he's coming for that gold. And then speaking of gold, the champion, the ruler himself, Obafemi, came out. He said, it's funny how Trick likes to talk like he's the man around here when Oba is. He said, quote, the spotlight is moving on and I suggest you do too. Then Javon Evans came out, and he came out to say that he was right about Trick, that he's a broken record talking about the same thing and everyone's tired of it. He said, quote, Trick, you already know how I feel about you, so you're dismissed. No. So we're giving attitude now. When he said that, I started cackling and I was so gagged. I was like, okay, Javon, like, go off. Hello. And he low key was putting Oba over for like a split second, and it kind of made me laugh. He said that his problem with Oba is that he walks around NXT like he owns the place, which, I mean, he's a champion, so what do you expect? But then Oba fired back and started being sarcastic. You know, he said that the place does not revolve around him because he's the that the place does revolve around him because he is the NXT champion. And then whatever, they kept all going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. And then they all started brawling. Because, I mean, what do you really expect to happen? Then Javon eventually laid out both Trick and Oba. And the closing shot was Javon raising the NXT championship high. Now, I know Oba and Trick have to get called up at some point, right? I mean, obviously, Raw after Mania, which is literally next week, I cannot believe it, is the perfect place for that to happen. I mean, Raw after Mania is usually when we see at least some NXT call-ups, and especially without the draft happening this year, I definitely do think it is possible. Now, hear me out. What if Javon won the championship? I mean, the odds are low, but never zero. Okay? I mean, is Javon ready for a championship? I don't think so. But they also gave Dominic Mysterio the NXT North American Championship when he was down still in NXT. And do we all think that he was ready for that? No. And now look at the big star he is. Do you see where I'm going with this? They also made Roxanne a two-time women's, or is she two-time? I believe she's two-time. One or two-time NXT women's champion. And that is one too many times for me. Miss Girl don't deserve that. Miss Botchmania don't deserve that. So, you know, I think anything is possible. Okay. And it's Mania weekend, it's Stand and Deliver weekend. And like I said, anything is possible. Chances and odds are low, but never zero. So I'm going to leave you all with that. My overall thoughts of the show is that it was great. I mean, NXT is always fantastic. It's my favorite show out of all of WWE. Truly, they never miss a week. And my match of the night, though, was the number one contendership match for the NXT North American Championship, where we had Ethan Page versus Lexis King versus Eddie Thorpe versus Wesley. It was overall just a great match start to finish. My segment of the night was the Tony D'Angelo confrontation, the D'Angelo family confrontation with Dark State. I mean, I absolutely love this story that they are starting to tell between both factions, and I just can't wait to see them take on each other Saturday at Stand and Deliver. Overall, I'd probably rate the show about an 8.5 out of 10. I really, really loved it, and I thought it was the perfect go-home show before Stand and Deliver. But until tomorrow, where we get to talk about Stand and Deliver finally, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.